Right, welcome back everybody. I paused the video just for a few minutes while I did some more fussy cutting, and I've cut out the latest freebie kit from Suzanne, and these are the 2 envelopes, and these are the seed packs, and I printed out those twice because I think it was just a set of 4, but I wanted extras because I want to fill the journal. So I've cut those out, and I finished off this little B tab here by printing out the flipped side on that, and I've also done some of the dragonflies because I'll put those in some of the pockets. So some are double-sided and some are single-sided that I'll stick to a page. I've done the beetles as well, I think, somewhere. But yeah, I'll go through those rather than go through each one now. So what I thought we'd do is dress these 2 pockets and glue them down. So I'm going to use Fabric for those, or should I say 3-in-1 for those. But first I just want to put something on the bits that you can see because they're a bit white. So I've got a stencil. Handy here somewhere. Says she. Let's have a look. What have I got here? I've got one with swirls. I think I'll do the bigger one actually, and it'll just take the whiteness off the inside of those coin envelopes. So let's have a look, and I'm just going to use my distress ink for that. Go a little way down because you know what it's like when you look down inside. And then what I'm going to do is just go over gently and around the edge like so, so that when you fold it over it's like that. And then we'll also put a bit on the outside, and I might even do a little bit along the corner of the outside here, so maybe just like that. There we go. So we'll put a bit there and a bit on the bottom. There we go. And then I'm going to fold that flap over and just ink around the edge. There we go. And then we'll pop the front of the seed packet on there. Don't they look great? So we've got florals. Let's have a look at that one. They're a bit smaller, that one. So now I'll keep those to one side. Quite like that one. So yeah, we'll There we go. Perfect. So now it's up to you whether you want to dress the back a little bit, or whether you want to put some more labels on and dress the fronts. So I'll put that one to one side and we'll do the same with this one. There we go. We've had an exciting morning this morning. We picked up our new car. So we've spoilt ourselves and we've gone all electric to try and be a bit more green and friendly. So it's going to be a big learning curve for me because I've never had an automatic car and I've never had any experience driving an electric car, and technology now is sort of whizzing by and it's all operated by your mobile phone, so it's going to be a big a big learning experience, I think. Bit of a challenge. I like a bit of a challenge though. So we'll do the same on there by putting a little bit across the back. Just to take the design to another level there. And then we'll glue the edges. Just clean my nozzle there. So I hope that you're enjoying this challenge and that you're supporting all the other ladies as their videos and come out, you know, the social media sites that they use. So we've got that one. Oh, we've got the tulips. So that's the spare. That's the spare. There we go. Quite like the tulips actually. Yeah. There we go. There we are. So we'll pop that one over there. Now then, let's have a look. I might just stick a little sticker across there. I won't put anything behind it. I'll just put a label on. There we go. And we'll put one on here as well. So what we got? Blooms. That's quite a good one, with it being a multi-pack of seeds. There we go. So that's ready for some ephemera to go in. And then what I've done is I've pre-prepped a book page pocket, and really straightforward to make. You just need one book page. For those of you who don't know how to make one, it's a matter of folding your book page in half, and then folding this in to where you want it, like that, and then folding this one behind, but folding it so that it's not in line with this front one. And then if you want a pocket on the front, just folding that up at the front there, and that gives you a nice simple pocket. And what I do is I put some glue in here, or you could leave it. You could actually, if you wanted 3 pockets, you could put a pocket there, a pocket in there, but I would reinforce this one here with an extra piece of paper. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue those together. There we go. And then we'll glue this back one down, just with a bit of glue stick. And the same with this one, just a bit of glue stick to keep the flap down. There we go. And there you've got a nice simple pocket ready for putting some decoupage on. And what I've done is I've printed off the background sheet that came with these. So that's it, half size. And it came with the freebies with these, and some flowers. And what I've done is if you have a look at this one, I've put some of that behind there, and then I've used one of the kit pieces, background pages, here to decorate the front of the pocket. And I've put on some die cut flowers that were in my stash. And all I'm going to do now is put some glue in there, just to hold the pocket closed. And then we'll put this onto a book page. And all I've done is I've put some lace on the front, and you've got a nice little tuck spot there. So we could pop some bits and bobs in, and some extra ephemera, excuse me, which I'm going to have to make a few bits. Oh, we've got these pieces. Let's maybe put one of these in the pocket. So we've got a piece of ephemera there. So we could pop that in there like that. Or we could put some flowers in there. But no, I think we need to have a few more bits and pieces really. Let's have a look. Oh, that's what I'll do. I'll put a little snail on. Let's use a bit of collal glue. There we go. It'll make it look as though he's going along the top of the pocket. And then we'll get one of our signatures and find a spot where we're going to put it. Let's have a look. Oops, a daisy. There we go. I've just tore up paper a little bit there. It's just taking the surface off. There we go. So let's have a look where we're going to put this pocket. We could actually put it there. Yeah, I think that looks quite nice. So we'll there we go. So now what you've got is a pocket here, and you've got a pocket there for your seed packs, and then in this pocket down the front, what we're going to put in there, let's have a look. Maybe we could put a few butterflies tucked in, just as somewhere to put some flowers. I think I need to get a few more little cards, a little bit smaller ephemera. So I won't fill that, but I will put it to one side. And we'll do a pocket for the other signature. So I'll pop that over there. And, oh, just go back to that a second. We'll take that out of there. Pop that one in. And then... Not yet. That'll be just right for the for this little pocket, for the coin envelope. And then what will happen is I'll make some little tags to go in there, or I can put in, you could actually put in some real seeds if you wanted to gift it to somebody. As a garden journal, and we'll keep that one to go in the other pocket here. So let's get our ink ready. Oh, that's the wrong one, sorry, I've already cut this one to size. There we go. So we'll just ink around the edges. And then we'll get our background paper. And it doesn't have to go right the way in. Let's have a look. We'll tuck it in this way, shall we? So what I did, I got my ruler and tore it across there, and then I pop that in there. There we go. And what I'm going to do is just ink the edges where I've torn the paper. There we go. There we are. And we'll slide that into there. And then we'll get some for the front. So I've got a different sheet for that one. Let's have a look. I'll take a bit of this. And we'll do the same again. And then that can go on there. Tear that bit off. I've made it a bit too long actually. Not to worry. Because we've got the flap there at the bottom. So, there we go. We'll tear this little piece off. There we are. I like to put plenty of glue on to make sure it all sticks and that it lasts long, because journals are quite, you're handling them quite a lot, aren't you? So I don't want them to fall to pieces. There we go. And then we'll stick this pocket down. sides there. And I'm just going to snip that little bit. There we go. And then we'll get some lace. But first I'm just going to ink the edges. There we go. And we'll put that on there. I'll just put my little pin in so that I don't lose it. Now then, I ought to have put that one on the other pocket because it had got a snail behind it. But not to worry. Now then, we could use the dragonfly. Let's have a look. And maybe not use that one, but use one of the other dragonflies on the pocket. Or we could put it on there and put dragonfly on it. The only thing is, with it being close to the pocket, it'll probably get battered. So let's have a look, see what we've got in the way of fussy cuts. We've got a few different ones here. Let's have a look. Yep, we'll do that. So I just need my tweezers a minute, and I can find them. There we go. Just take a little bit off there, make it a bit shorter. And the same again. Oops. There we go. And then we'll put that one on There we go. There we are. And then we'll put dragonfly on the I don't know what I've done with my lid for that little pot. I always say to myself that I'm going to remember where I'm putting things, because especially with all that ephemera knocking around, it'll get lost. So let's have a look. Dragonfly. Not to worry, I'll find it. There we go. Right, go back to the pocket. So we've got that other envelope that we made. Oh, we'll stick it in the journal first. Maybe put it towards the back page on this one. Put that in there. Yeah, I think that'll, because they don't have to be on the same pages in both signatures. Just pop it under there. There we go. There we are. So we'll pop that in there. And I think I'll put that on there and just leave the top part of the wings in the air so that it gives you a bit of 3D. We'll have him so that he's going towards the flower, and then it ties it in with the dragonfly on the pocket. So I've just got to find another piece of ephemera to go in that pocket. Let's have a look what we've got. What haven't we used? We've got a spare one of those. There we are. What I did think of doing with these is, in fact, I could actually do it with this one. I'm going to make a hidden, just let that dry a minute, and I'll show you what I'm going to do with this. So we'll go right round the edges. This is on the fly, this is, I love making these. And not everybody knows how to make them. So what you do is you go all around the edges of all 4 sides and glue that together. Okay. And then we just let it dry off a minute. And then with our ruler, and Stanley knife, let me just make sure that's straight. There we go. There we go. And I'm going to cut through there. And I bet you're thinking, what on earth are you doing, Wendy? And then what we want is a piece of cardstock. So bear with. Now I've just gone in my stash and this strip was there. And I think it is a Christmas paper, but not to worry. It's got birds on it and the colours quite match the so all I'm going to do is ink around the edges, and I might use that stencil again just to do a bit of a pattern to take the whiteness off just gently. And then I'm going to round the corners, so we'll have them medium sized. And then all you do is you get your envelope, and this part opens up now because you've only glued around the edges, and so that's going to be the back, and then you pop that in there, put in some glue inside, and also on this side to anchor the back. Oopsie-daisy. And then you slide that back into there. Oopsie-daisy. Now what I should have done is maybe just taken a sliver off the sides. I don't know whether I can pull it out. Oh, thankfully I can. have to be really quick, mind you. There we go. Pop that back in there. There we go. Hopefully that little tiny piece will make the difference when getting it inside. What I can do is just slip my ruler in. There we go. Oops, a daisy. I need to do it a bit more. There we go. And there you have it. A little secret writing spot. There we go. So what we'll do is we'll pop that in that pocket, and we'll do and make another one for the other pocket as well. There we go. You could put a tag on the top of these if you wanted, but I'm just going to leave that in there. There we are. And we'll make one more of those just to recap. Straighten my desk. Oh, there's the top. So we'll get one of the other cards. And we've got 3 different ones here. So let's have a look. That one's stuck down. I'll go to the other pocket. Right. So we'll do the same with this one. And as I say, they're really quick to make. So same again, as close to the edge as you can. So that you make as much room in the pocket as you can get. And I'm trying to use the glue sparingly because Collard glue does spread. Right. Put that back on there. And we'll glue those together. So we'll just ink around the edges. And then all I'm going to do is use my scissors, I think. There we go. Put that way. So I'm going to pop that into there. Let's have a look. There we are. So same again, we'll round off the corners at the bottom. Oh, before I should have done that, I should have made sure that it was, yeah, it's a bit too wide, so we'll take a little bit off there. And I'll round the corner again. And let's have a look. And before I glue it down this time, I'm going to make sure that both these pieces line up, because as you can see there's a little bit of a step, so you can actually pull the card. There we go. Well, before we do that, we'll get our dauber. Give it a bit of a stencil. And then we'll pop it in again. And in there, lining up your flowers. So it just needs pulling over a little bit. That's it, perfect. So now I can take that out and we can put some glue in there and pop some glue there. There we are. Just make sure that it's still all in alignment. Now, and I've moved it, see? So we'll pull the bottom piece across. There we are. So you've got two little hiding spots. Now the front of this one's a bit plain, so we'll maybe give it a bit of a dressing up. I thought we had seeds on one of these. Let's have a look. Blossoms, nature, roots, herbs, snail, shed, soil. I suppose we could put blossoms. Keep that one. Yeah, we'll pop a little bit of greenery on this one. I quite like using die cuts. I know they're a pain. Cutting them out, they're very time consuming, but they do add a little bit of something to your journal. Whether it be colour or there we go. And then we'll put blossom on. There we are. Another thing you can do with these is put an eyelet in the corner, and you can use them as little dangles as well. I mean, you could put two of them together, couldn't you? And hang them like that as a pair, which might be an idea. But what I thought I would do with those was make those into a dangle and hang them, which is why I've left them at the top there. So let's pop that in a pocket. So that's one pocket there. Let's have a look. those out. Pop that in there. There we go. And then what I thought I would do as well is we've got some little plant pot trees here, and I'm just going to put them on the front page of the signature. There we are. So that's one on there, and we'll get the other one for the other side. So I hope you're enjoying following along. And, you know, if you are following along, please, you know, post some pictures of what you're making if you go on to Suzanne's Facebook page. It'd be great if you, you know, shared with us, because it does share the inspiration and gives people ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little butterfly in that corner as well. And we'll put one on the other side, but a different colour maybe. I've got a nice blue one. So we've got dragonflies as well. Let's have a look. The big purple one. Oh, we've got bugs, ladybugs. There we go, we'll put the snails on as well. At least it gives people a clue what's going to be in on your signatures. There we go. And we'll have this one going that way. There we are. And then we'll get another butterfly. You're actually spoilt for choice. Oh, I like that red on, I think. Yeah. There we are. So you get the 2 signatures there. And then, do we need a word? Nature. Grow. Bulbs. Planted. Oh, we could have let's have a look. Snail on that one. Yeah. Now then, is snail on the inside of here? Let's take a peek. No. So we'll there we are. Maybe we should put soil. Yeah, we'll have soil. There we go. There we are. Right, so let's recap what we've done today. We've finished off the bee. We've done the front pages of our signatures. And we've made a book page pocket when we can come across it. Goes in there. So we've made a book page pocket, and we've put together these seed packets with the freebie kit, and we've made a secret let's make sure that they don't get glued down. We've made a secret writing spot. So there we are. Let's have a look on that one. We need something to go in that pocket as well. I think there is 2 tags in one, isn't there? Dragonfly, butterfly, yeah. So let's pop that in there. There we go. There we are. And there's the other seed pocket and secret writing spot on there. So we'll call that a wrap for today, and I hope that you'll join me in my next video. Excuse my desk. and see what we'll come up with to fill this little journal. So I will say good night, everybody. Thank you for your support and encouragement. I'm new onto Suzanne's design team, so just finding my feet a little bit. I also do some design team work for Rachel and Bella Crafts as well, so it keeps me busy because journaling is my therapy and it keeps me sane, and yeah, it's something that I enjoy doing, and God gives us these gifts, and I hope that it brings you pleasure, and that you'll continue to give me your support by commenting and liking and leaving constructive criticism would be appreciated too. And yeah, so I'll look forward to seeing you all in the next video. So until then, I'll say good night, everybody, and bye for now. Bye.